Hey guys, it's time once again for another Saturday night's main event review. Now, this is the fourth edition of Saturday night's main event that I'm going to be reviewing. And to catch you guys up, the first one was really good, second one sucked, third one was okay. How will the fourth one do? Well, let's get to the review. The event takes place in the Sun Dome in Tampa, Florida. This event aired on January the 4th, 1986. Got a TV rating of a 10.4, which is really, really good. So we kick off with the opening segments, Hulk Hogan getting his protein shake ready with Mean Gene, and Roddy Piper and Jesse Ventura are seeing the hillbillies, floating away as they're getting ready. So after that, in the intro, we go to Vince McMahon, who talks about everything that's going on tonight, and then Jesse Ventura mentions the big six-man tag, and he goes into this great part where he's like, "Do you think Brent Musburger would go nose to nose and toes to toes with William the Refrigerator Perry? I don't think so. The refrigerator would eat him up. Do you think Vince Scully would step into the batter's box and take a fastball from Dwight Gooden? Nah." And it was really good. So he then has Bobby Heenan as the commentator for his match, which we're about to see in a minute. So we do get our Bobby Heenan appearance on the show. So after we get the interviews and the highlights, we go into the first match, which is the six-man match, Jesse Ventura, Bob Orton, and Roddy Piper against the Hillbillies, Hillbilly Jim, Uncle Elmer, and Cousin Luke. Not Cousin Junior anymore, it's Cousin Luke. And, I gotta say, this, for the way that they had hyped it, for this match, it was okay. I'm not going to say it was great, but it was somewhat okay. Match ends when Bob Orton hits Cousin Luke with the cast, and then Piper puts the sleeper on, even though Cousin Luke was already out. And the team of Piper, Orton, and Ventura win. And then after the match, Ventura goes back up the commentary, and Bobby Heenan congratulates him. So after that, we go back to the swimming park that they're at. I actually don't remember the name of it. It was in the credits, but I don't remember what it was. So we have Mean Gene sitting at the top of a pool or the slide with Jimmy Hart and the Junkyard Dogs. They're going to have a race. And this is Jimmy Hart's way of getting revenge for being branded. Yeah, that's a good way of getting revenge. So the race happens, and the Junkyard Dog wins. Jimmy Hart is he just lost all momentum and focus. But Junkyard Dog wins. Now, Jesse Ventura is with Terry Funk, and he's wondering why Terry Funk is outside. And Terry Funk says, "Well, I'm here to get my tan, because when I beat Hulk Hogan and win the title, I want the magazines to come. I want Sports Illustrated to come and take my picture as the new champion." So we then go to a highlight package, which is narrated by Gorilla Monsoon, of what happened the previous time the two men met, Hogan and Terry Funk, in Denver, Colorado, where Hulk Hogan got branded. So we then go to the back where Mean Gene is interviewing Hulk Hogan, and he says that he's got somebody who's going to keep an eye on Jimmy Hart in tonight's title match, and it's none other than the Junkyard Dog. Now, as we go to commercial, and I want you to hear this part, Vince McMahon says, and I quote, "Stay tuned for Hulk Hogan's biggest title match, or his biggest match since WrestleMania. Pardon me a minute. The biggest match for Hulk Hogan since WrestleMania. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Terry Funk. Terry Funk is the man. But we're talking about 1985 and then going into 1986. So you mean to tell me that the title matches that he had with Cowboy Bob Orton, Nikolai Volkov, Roddy Piper at the Wrestling Classic pay-per-view, and a host of others are not nearly as important as the one with Terry Funk? I'm just saying. Like I said, I love Terry Funk. But in 1985-86, when Hogan's on fire, you're telling me that this is the biggest match since WrestleMania? I'm just saying. So anyway, we get to the match, and you know what? This is a very good match. I probably would put this, of the 3 title defenses that Hogan has had up to this point, as his second best one, only behind the one against Bob Orton on the first Saturday night's main event. And I tell you, this is a fun match to watch, and commentary-wise, it's fun to listen to because of how Jesse Ventura is, and you know, and he's like, "Oh, he had him! I can't believe it! The referee was slow. He was hesitating to count the 3," and it really is good. The match ends when Funk has a 3 count on Hogan, but Hogan's foot is on the rope. Junkyard Dog comes around to get Jimmy Hart. Meanwhile, Funk is arguing with the referee. Hogan gets up, hits a lariat, covers Funk. 1, 2, 3. Hogan wins, retains the title. And after we come back from commercial, Terry Funk is dragging Jimmy Hart back to the locker room, and then Hulk Hogan said, "I didn't have enough, brother. I want more, Terry Funk, dude." So that's that. So after that, we go back outside to this pool park, which I'm going to call it, and we get an interview with Captain Lou Albano and George the Animal Steele. Now, George the Animal Steele is getting ready for his match tonight with Macho Man Randy Savage. Now George, is with a lot of beautiful women out there going down the slide, and Mean Gene's like, "Are you sure George is 100%? Are you sure he's ready for this?" And, you know, Lou Albano does the talking, you know, he's ready to go. And then as Mean Gene sends it to Jesse Ventura, George Steele has this one line in the entire interview. "Quick!" That's his one line. "Quick!" So we go to Jesse Ventura, who is with Macho Man Randy Savage and Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is scared for her life. I wonder why. Well, in the interview, Ventura tells Randy Savage that he's never met a man like George the Animal Steele. And Macho Man asks him, "What am I, or who am I?" "You're the Macho Man." "What is he?" "The animal." "I'm the Macho Man. I'll take care of this animal." So, Savage is trying to teach Elizabeth how to swim. So how does he do it? He pushes her off this bridge, and she goes all the way down into the pool. Oh boy, but Elizabeth, still good. Still so good looking. So then we get ready for the match, George Steele and Randy Savage. Now, this is very infamous, or not infamous, but very well done, because we get George the Animal Steele finally falling in love with the lovely Elizabeth. And at one point, Vince McMahon makes the comparison. This is sort of like King Kong and Jessica Lange. Which is why I'm going to do a new game called Who is the Better Looking? So I'm going to show you guys two pictures. One of Miss Elizabeth, one of Jessica Lange. So here we go. Camera. Here is a picture of Miss Elizabeth. Look at that. I'll show you another picture of Miss Elizabeth. Alright. Now, as you see my head, we're going to take a look at Jessica Lange. There's Jessica Lange. Let me find one more. Oh, this is a good one right here. Wow. So, as I put the camera back, I'll let you guys decide who's the better looking, Miss Elizabeth or Jessica Lange. Such a tough decision that we as human beings have to make. So anyway, back to the match. Now the match, I didn't know this till I read this, and I want to thank the historyofwwe.com for putting this information up. The referee for this match is Dean Malenko. I did not know that. And this is a fun match, and you know what? This really tells a very good story of George Steele having feelings now for Elizabeth. And, you know, Randy Savage is trying to wrestle, but George Steele does the brawling. But yet George Steele still has these feelings for Elizabeth. The match ends when George Steele is eating one of the turnbuckles, and he offers some stuffing to Elizabeth. Savage hits a double axe handle off the top rope. 1, 2, 3, Savage gets the win. And then he carries Elizabeth on his shoulders back to the locker room. And that's that. But it ends up being one of the better feuds of 1986 in the WWF. So we cut back to the water park with Mean Gene Okerlund and Hulk Hogan. And we get a music video. But it's not it's not an artist's music video. It's a compilation. It's the best of 1985 in the World Wrestling Federation. Now, on the original version, the song that they use is When the Going Gets Tough, the Tough Get Going by Billy Oceans. On the one that I had, it's sort of a, you know, I'm trying to think of the word here. Crap, I can't even think of it. Probably generic would probably be the best word. But that one actually has some good music. So, after that, they talk about the video, and Jesse Ventura's like, you know what? I wasn't even in that video. I bet it was that Dick Ebersol who kept me out. The guy who says he created Saturday Night Live. Oh boy, good shot at Mr. Ebersol. So then we go to the back, where Mean Gene is interviewing Nikolai Volkov and Freddie Blassie, as Nikolai Volkov is about to have a peace match with Corporal Kirshner. This coming off the agreement between the United States and the USSR. And Iron Sheik comes out for some reason. And, you know, they do the whole USA hot toy. Meanwhile, we get a quick video package of Corporal Kirshner, and then we see Jesse Ventura standing with Kirshner, as he is about to perform one of the many things that Corporal Kirshner does. Gets on a zip line and jumps into the water. So then after that, Kirshner comes out and we have the peace match. And this, I'm going to be honest, this may have been the best match of the entire show. Because for the entire time, until the end, these two wrestled. This is probably the best Nikolai Volkov match I've ever seen. And then the end of the match comes when Volkov gets a knee in the midsection of Kirshner and then hits a flying or jumping knee drop. 1, 2, 3. Volkov wins. And then after the match, Kirshner goes after both Sheik and Volkov. Referee for that match, again, Dean Malenko, a very young Dean Malenko. So after that, we cut back from commercial. We see Don Morocco swimming on his surfboard, and, the girls go up to him. So then we go back to some footage of previous incidents between Don Morocco, Mr. Fuji, and Ricky Steamboat. The last Saturday night's main event when Morocco blew mist into the eyes of Ricky Steamboat, and of course, the famous hanging incident many months earlier. So we have an interview with Morocco and Fuji, and the ending of this interview is great, because Mr. Fuji talks about what they do with dogs. They have fry dogs, boiled dogs, steamed dogs. Basically, they're stereotyping again. Oh my gosh. It's wonderful, isn't it? So, after that, we cut back to Ricky Steamboat and Junkyard Dog. They have their interview, and, they're going to finish off Fuji and Morocco. So, after a brief commercial, we come back, and really, Junkyard Dog, for this whole feud being Steamboat and Morocco, Junkyard Dog takes quite a beating at the end. Or not in the end, but in the match. And Ventura noticed that, Fuji and Morocco constantly making tags back and forth, and Junkyard Dog's been in the ring pretty much the whole time. So Steamboat comes in, and he does some work. And the end of the match is very interesting, because Fuji attempts a back suplex. Steamboat reverses it, tags Junkyard Dog. The dog kicks Fuji in the midsection, then gives him a headbutt. 1, 2, 3. Steamboat and the JYD win. After the match, Steamboat and Morocco fight some more. So we cut back to Vince and Jesse, and they're talking about what happened tonight, and Vince said, the best thing about this night was another successful title defense by Hulk Hogan against Terry Funk, and Jesse's like, no, man, the best part was me in the ring, winning that 6-man tag with Piper and Orton, beating those 3 hillbilly hicks. And then after that, Ventura and McMahon wish us goodbye and tell us to stay tuned for the next Saturday night's main event as they play the highlight package of 1985 with the closing credits. So what did I think of this Saturday night's main event all in all? This was a very good one. Very, very good. You had a fun match with Hulk Hogan. You had the beginnings, really, of 2 storylines that would go into WrestleMania 2, Savage and Steel, and Kirshner and Nikolai Volkov. Plus you have what I would perceive would be the conclusion of 2 other angles, Piper and Ventura with the Hillbillies, and then Steamboat with Morocco and Fuji. The water park is a great addition to this. All in all, this is tough, because I was actually thinking about it after watching this. I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. This was a very good episode. Right now, this is the best Saturday night's main event that they have done up to this point. So right now, this Saturday night's main event is the best one that they have done. Now, the next time I review Saturday night's main event, it will feature a boxing match, Hulk Hogan defending the WWF title, but yet Hogan may pay the price. and the music video premiere of perhaps the greatest wrestling theme song of all time.